that first resistance at the beginning, and a lot of people write to me because, you know, they read my books and like, wow, Bonnie, you're able to just kind of tell your story so honestly, but they don't see that there is a lot of stress and obstacles on that path. But the reason why they don't stop me is because I always go back to the reason about why we write. So this is very important. One of the first things you'll encounter is when you say yes and you get excited, you'll hear lots of no's, like you're talking about Mindy, those resistance. And one of the first things that you will find yourself asking is, am I worthy? You'll find yourself, and the reason why I can tell this to you is because that's how it appears to me. No matter how many books I've written, every time I come up with a new book idea, the first question is this idea worthy? Am I worthy? And I will, you know, see other people writing their books or writing their projects, and I'll think, well, gosh, I don't know if I have anything new to say. You know, comparison is the first source of resistance. Is I don't think I have really all that much to say. And this is really not true. It's not true. And one of the things I always like to point back to is Mary. You know, when she first got the news that she would bear, you know, the child, Mary said, how can this be? So I want everybody to hear kind of that voice. How can this be? You will have your own questions. How can this be? I'm not qualified. How can this be? I don't have the social media following. How can this be? I feel overwhelmed by how I'm going to tell the story. But you can see, no matter how many doubts we have, God's calling, God's invitation never changed with Mary. So I just want to reassure you. I think that the first thing to be reassured that it doesn't matter. Even if you have a lot of doubts, God's calling on you to write is not going to change. So the first step to take is what Mary did. What did Mary say? First, she asked a question. Please ask all your questions to God. And as you're writing your questions, I would challenge you to write. So this is kind of getting to a little bit of the science. So science shows that when we write, the act of writing switches our brain from the emotional part where we are afraid, where we're fearful and doubtful and depressed or full of anxiety. The minute we start writing, we switch to our left brain, which is the logic part. So Mindy, do you ever feel like once you start writing or journaling, nothing has changed between the time you wrote your first sentence and you finished closing your journal, but you feel better?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so you find that, right? So it's because you move from the emotional part to actually writing it down, and it's no longer inside you. So that's the first tip. When you feel stuck, is to start journaling. And you can start journaling by saying, I don't know what to write.
Yes.
But this is how I feel. And as your pen starts flowing, you'll find yourself talking about the very topic that you really care about. That would be my first tip.
And